Hi everybody. This week we're starting a new series and we're going to be talking about prayer. So what is it, right? What is prayer and how do we do it well? There are countless books on the subject and I can give you plenty of recommendations on those. I think you can boil it down to, though, prayer is about how we communicate in our relationship with God. And if we want to understand how to communicate with God in relationship, well, let's just think about our other relationships, right? Because we know that our relationship with other people, with loved ones, that evolves over time. And as the relationship changes, so does the way that we communicate with them. So, when you're little, right, with your toddlers, with my kids, you're told what to say, right? Say thank you. Go ask her to play with you. And then as you get older, as kids, they can start to ask questions, right? They can ask for what they want, and they can do that in a nice way, or they can do that in a needy way, but they never run out of things to ask for. And then as you get a little older from that, you start to listen a little bit more. You want to listen to other people's stories and really hear what they've gone through. And in some ways that takes humility, because you're admitting, I've got things to learn, and I can maybe learn something from you if I'll listen to you. And then sometimes in our relationships, as we grow even deeper, you just want to spend time with people. And you can even get to this point where words become unnecessary. And just being in their presence is actually communicating something beyond words. And so in a similar way, I think we can look at the stages of prayer. There are 4 stages of first talking at God, then talking to God, listening to God, and being with God. And I'll give the reference where I get all this from in the comments below. But as we go through those stages, I think it's important to realize that we don't outgrow any of them. All of those stages are good. And it's more about adding the other stages as we get further in. And maybe sometimes we need to leave behind childish ways of doing certain types of prayer or certain attitudes about those forms of prayer, but they're all beneficial. Sometimes the first stage of talking at God is all I can do, and that keeps me sane and keeps me centered. And so this week, each day, we're going to talk about a different stage. What does it look like to talk at God or listen to God? And then I'll give you a practice that you can do to pray in that way. And then next week, we'll kind of continue in this theme and look at some other spiritual disciplines. Really, it's like we're trying to grow spiritually, right? And grow stronger spiritually. And the way you do that is kind of like how you get stronger physically. You have to work out different muscles. You have to try different workouts or different machines at the gym. And there may be a lot that we're not used to. I know I grew up with kind of focus on only a few sort of spiritual practices. And so the more that we have, the more that we can potentially grow. Now, it is going to stretch you a little bit. That's also the only way you grow. But if we can stretch the way we understand prayer and the way that we pray, then I think we are going to grow in our prayer life. Now, I will say I'm no expert. I may know a lot, but I'm actually not that great at practicing some of these things. And so part of the reason we're doing this is because prayer is communal. It's personal, but that communal side is important. And so this week, would you pray with me?